Hey guys, how's it going? So we decided that we're going to do a video series on, how to become a doctor and what that looks like. And to kick it off, we want to do a vlog post right now on, what are the exact steps you actually do need to go through to become a physician.
So obviously the very first step is to decide that you want to pursue medicine and that you want to be a doctor. So that's the first thing that you need to decide. And once you've decided that you do want to be a doctor, the next big decision you need to make is whether you want to stay in the country to pursue your medical education, or if you want to do medical school overseas. So Rob and I both did med school in Canada. We're both from Canada, so we decided to stay home to do medicine. But a lot of people make the decision to go to like Australia, the Caribbean, or Europe to pursue medical school. Some of the pros to that are that a lot of these schools that are overseas, you get to go straight after high school. So you get to shave off a lot of time from the actual process of becoming a doctor. Some of these schools are actually a little bit easier to get into because they don't have as many prerequisites. Like some of them don't require you to have taken the MCAT or certain prerequisite courses, so that can make it a little easier. And another big pro, obviously, is at the end of the day, you get to become a doctor, which is what you wanted to do. So that part of it of that process is great.
Well, one of the big cons though is that usually if you're going overseas, it's quite a bit more expensive than staying at home. So you have to factor that in. And then, it might be easier to get into med school. That's true, but it's a lot harder to get into a residency program if you're an international graduate. Depending on what specialty you want to go into, some of them have extremely limited spots and some of them even have no spots for international graduates. So, depending on where you think you want to end up in medicine, you might want to factor that into your decision. And then, provided that you do get a residency position somewhere back home in US or Canada, sometimes governments will have a return of service contract. So that means after you finish your residency, you have to work for a couple of years in a, specified community before you're let loose and can do whatever you want.
So if you make the decision to stay in Canada or the United States to do medical school, then usually that means you need to do an undergraduate degree in university. So it's either 3 to 4 years of a degree, which is what most medical schools need you to have done. And it's literally any degree. A lot of people think that you have to do a degree in science, but you can do anything: arts, history, film studies, anything you want to do, as long as you make sure you do the prerequisite courses that medical schools want you to have done. And that's things like biology, chemistry, physics. So just make sure you look at the med schools you're applying to and see what prerequisite courses they have that you need to do. Obviously, you need to do the MCAT for most of the medical schools in Canada, the United States. So that's really important. And then, of course, you need to work on building your resume. So that means extracurricular activities, sports, arts, performing arts. Just make sure that you're a really strong candidate when you apply for medical school.
So, provided you've done a great job with all that and you have a sweet resume, you get into medical school. Most med schools in North America are 4-year programs. There are some that are 3, but most are 4. And depending on the school, the curriculums obviously vary, but they're a combination of didactic, lecture-based learning, similar to what you had in undergrad. And then also, which is unique to med school, is the clerkship or the clinical component. And that's up to half of the time or more where you spend as a medical student on the wards, working with patients and really like hands-on learning. So it's a combination of the two. When you finish med school, you graduate with your medical doctorate degree. So technically you are a doctor once you finish med school, but you don't have a license to practice until you do a residency program.
So residency is anywhere from 2 to 7 years, depending on what specialty you go into. And that's the point where you become, either you become a family doctor or you become a general surgeon or you become a pediatrician, whatever specific field of medicine you want to go into. So if you want to become a family doctor in Canada, that's a 2-year residency program. You complete the 2 years and then after that you graduate and you can work as a family physician. If you want to specialize, however, do any other specialty, usually that's a 5-year residency. So you do 5 years of residency. After that, you write your licensing exams, and then either you go on to work or then you need to go on to do further training in the form of fellowship.
So a lot of people outside of medicine don't even know or realize what a fellowship is. Like I didn't know that until we were in medicine. But basically what that means is it's extra subspecialty training. So as an example, you could do your 5-year residency in radiology, and at the end of it, you are a licensed, fully certified radiologist. But if you do a fellowship in, say neuroradiology, now all of a sudden you have extra training and you're a neuroradiologist. So it's kind of like a subspecialty training process. And like, why would you want to do that in the first place? But if you're trying to work in a big city where jobs are, competitive, then it's basically a given that you'll have to do a fellowship. And, some specialties even do more than one fellowship. So that's one thing to consider when you're considering the length of your total training, is tacking on that fellowship training at the end. Mm-hmm. So anyways, we know that was a ton of information for you guys. We'll just throw up like the whole algorithm so you guys can take a look at it. We're going to be making videos kind of, focusing in on some of these specific steps in a lot more detail in the future, so don't worry. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. If you have ideas of certain videos that you guys want to see, just let us know. We can make it happen. And don't forget to click like and subscribe to follow us along in our journey. All right, see ya until next time.
Bye.